What's up, Libra? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a new moon tarot reading for August 16th, 2023. The new moon will be at 23 degrees Leo. It will occur at 5:38 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The moon will be in the 12th mansion, according to the ancient Babylonian magic tradition known as the Picatrix. I will put a little picture up here. It kind of gives a description of that house. It's called Al-Sarfa. It's more of a malevolent house than a benevolent house of the moon. It won't be there very long, but it's good for changing your look if you wanted to do that. It's good for getting married or finding a marriage partner in that time. It's also good for growing crops, but most of us don't do that anymore. That's more of an ancient thing, but this was written in ancient times in ancient Babylonia. And to be fair, in ancient Babylon, and to be fair, all magic is based off of these ancient rituals and traditions, because those are some of the oldest records that we have are from, Sumeria, Babylon, very, very old. And the Picatrix is kind of one of the oldest grimoires that we have that really explains this type of ritual moon magic, which all magic today is based off of that same stuff. But anyway, this will be a general tarot reading for Libra. It is for the new moon. We're going to get you a Moonology card to kind of get an overall look at what we're dealing with here. Then I'll give you a Thoth spread and use the Thoth deck for clarifiers. See what we got for Libra. Also, if you haven't considered subscribing or liking the videos or commenting, please consider that. I am trying to get this channel monetized, and I will do more videos probably directed around things like ancient grimoires, magic, esoteric, definitely astrology. I'll tie it all into astrology because it's all tied into astrology. Make no mistake. Do some live streams with natal chart readings for individuals. Do just like some free tarot readings, general for that stream or anything like that. Maybe even doing some moon rituals here and there. Mostly I'll just be giving information on that rather than performing rituals on stream. There we go. That's what we want. Ooh, full moon in Saggy. Look at the bigger picture. But we need to get monetized in this channel first before I can do any of that. I imagine there's a lot of YouTube channels that fail. If mine failed, it wouldn't surprise me just because probably a lot of them do. But I have high hopes. My dad actually had a pretty good amount of new subscribers this last go around. I don't necessarily expect that again, but I am super stoked and grateful that did happen. If you don't want to like and subscribe or comment, I'm still just grateful that you're here, so thank you. Wherever Libra falls in your chart. And if you don't know your natal chart real well, you do have 3 main signs, and there are also all kinds of other ways that you could have Libra stronger in your chart. And I'll eventually will make videos explaining how to find out what sign is strongest in your natal chart, what planet is strongest, what aspects are strongest, and aspects are really the most important part, especially the conjunction. But anyway, this is for you, Libra. Let's see what our energy's looking at. Got my deck upside down here. Looks like we're talking about love, some kind of new beginning. Some kind of emotional situation. But we're going to get the bigger picture. The bigger picture, indeed. So you need to look at the bigger picture, whatever this is. Got some heartbreak down here. And in this situation, it could be arguments because you could have got the 5 of Swords in the main question. But it looks like clarity after heartbreak here. The outcome. Could be a relationship reading. I don't really go off the bottom of the deck very often, but that is the Lovers. So, saying look at the bigger picture, and the Ace of Cups is here and the Page of Cups. We're going to see what these clarifiers say when I get them out and see if it's supporting the fact that it is a love reading in some way. The question looks like maybe about an argument or about the way love is offered or given in a relationship, or because you got the Page of Cups there, which would be offering something offered to you, generally some kind of love or emotional attachment. You have the Ace of Cups, which is a new beginning, and then you have the 5 of Swords, which is, generally having the high ground, beating individuals in arguments or in verbal sparring or just beating your opponents in some way. Or there may be some kind of falling out between you and friends. Could definitely be. With the Lovers on the bottom there, it could be lovers or lover. I mean, again, I don't really normally go off the bottom of the deck, but it's coming out, and I saw emotional cards, and then I see a heartbreak card. So it could be a question around a falling out, a question of whether you'll have new friends or a new relationship, because it could be you had a fight in the relationship, asking if you're going to be able to make up that kind of thing. The current path has victory all over it, and justice, and the Hermit. It's got 2 major arcana there. The Hermit is all about your inner world, looking inside. You know, the Justice is about truth, balance. Could be court. You know, like if you were getting a divorce, could be something to do with court. You being victorious in court. It could be you being victorious in whatever this situation is as far as like an argument. Like whatever the argument was, you won, or at least you feel like you won. And you feel like justice was served. And it made you feel a lot better, a lot more calm. Or it made you single. Or it made you feel lonely, because that's what the Hermit's about too. It could be that you really wanted to win this argument. Which is really odd for Libra, because Libra generally doesn't stir the boat too much. They try to keep things balanced. It could be someone else did it, right? Or some kind of situation you're trying to win at. And it's not the most peaceful of situations. It's one that has some kind of struggle or some kind of verbal interaction, some kind of mental debates, some kind of arguments. The current path suggests that you're winning. So if the question is about winning in this situation, and it could, I mean, like I said, it could be divorce, or it could be something to do with a relationship, or something to do with like friends, like even separating from friends. I don't know, but you're gonna win, but I don't know if that's necessarily what's best. We'll clarify on it. This is the other path. Got the 3 of Pentacles, the Page of Rods, and the Queen of Pentacles. So the other path has, you know, an earth sign in it, or something that you're trying to nurture on this other path, something that you're working on, and it being something you're very passionate about. It could have something to do with kids. It could have something to do with a child, a fire sign child. Maybe you have a fire sign child with an earth sign, right? And you're going to try to work it out, whatever it is in this other path. Maybe you choose to try to work it out. So if you're in a relationship, whether you're married or not, and you have kids, and you're trying to work it out, this path is looking like maybe you go divorce and you win whatever you're asking for in the divorce, and you know you're going to be separated, you're going to be alone here, but you're going to win. And this saying you want to work on it. Maybe you have a child, but either way, it's saying you might want to work on the relationship and try to nurture it and make it better. And we're clarifying. And it, you know, everybody has their breaking point of whether they get to an argument, whether it be friends, whether it be your lover, whether it be at work. You know, everybody's got their breaking point. They can only take so much of arguing or being at odds about something. And it says, look at the bigger picture. So if it is something like that, it's saying, hey, maybe you should look at the bigger picture before either you try to make it work or before you separate. Because you need to see what that bigger picture looks like if you do either one of those things and then make your decision. Which makes a lot of sense. The advice is to try to balance things out. It says what it looks like. Because this is passion moving forward. Maybe your spouse is a fire sign. It could also be an earth sign. It could be a mixture of that in some way. It could be an earth sign that has this kind of energy. This could be you. Moving forward kind of passionately about how you feel about things. And this is change generally, either in money or trying to balance in some way, balance money. And if there is like a divorce or separation, you may be having to do that. And that may be kind of what the divorce is about, to get support in some way. But the advice is, you know, I got the happy home card here. So the advice is like saying, maybe you should try to balance it out. Maybe you should try to work on it, right? You know, whatever it is that you feel passionate about it, if you got to see whatever the bigger picture is. So if you're passionate about separating, either way, you're trying to create this happy home, because that'd be the whole point of leaving someone's, because you don't feel happy there anymore. But it could also be that maybe if you get good communication, not like this, but communicating in a kind, compassionate, understanding way, which can be hard to do when tensions are high. Maybe there will be change in understanding, and maybe you can try to balance it out in some way. If it's work, it's saying, maybe try to ask for a raise or give it a shot in some way. If you need more money, you think you need more money for your happy home, or if it's in court even. Because if you do take it to court, that kind of thing, it is going to cost money. But I'll say this, judging from what the cards are saying, and the advice is kind of saying, find your happy home in whatever way that you can, whatever you think it's best for you. So if you do decide to separate, it's saying, you got to try to get money out of the situation in some way, get support, whether you're male or female, and whether it's something to do with work, whether it's something to do with a relationship, whether it's doing with a friend. I mean, if you're separating from work, you're going to want to try to get your unemployment or whatever your benefits are. You definitely want to do that, because it's screaming money over there as advice. Like, there's going to be a change of some sort. If there is a change, it could be changing money. And now here's, money and heartbreak, right? You got the big money, but you have heartbreak. So it's like the big money is going to come from heartbreak in some way. And that's what the communication will be. Or this could be like a judgment or a message coming to you that's like, okay, this happened. There was a heartbreak, a divorce. I don't see death here anywhere. So whatever the heart, it could be something with your heart. If you had like an injury with your heart and some kind of malpractice lawsuit or something like that for something that happened at a hospital, but I don't really see the Hierophant or anything like that here, but it could be something like that. Most likely it's screaming like divorce or separation, but you're going to get money out of it in some way. At least that's what the outcome is suggesting. But it's going to be after some kind of arguments or after some kind of, which would suggest like court arguments kind of thing. With the Justice card there, it could definitely be that. All right, we're going to clarify the Five of Swords. I mean, this seems really specific. I mean, I can only read what the cards say, okay? And this seems really specific. If it doesn't resonate, I'd say go watch your other signs, Sun, Moon, or Rising. If you have, stelliums in your chart, conjunctions on your ascendant, whatever's strongest, you're going to want to follow that sign or what sign that planet rules that's strong in your chart. You'd be surprised how much it'll make sense. Right there. Could be at work. Could be a boss. Could be that you're like, you've been arguing with your boss, or you feel like your husband or your wife is an emperor type. It could be an Aries, like I said. It could be fire. Or you have fire in your chart somewhere. You're a fiery individual, because there's a lot of fire here. The Prince of Wands, the Emperor, and then you have the Six of Cups, which in this deck is the Lord of Pleasure. Right? I mean, with pleasure being there, it could be maybe the individual enjoys that kind of being that kind of person, like being dominating in a relationship, being controlling in a relationship. So if you are dealing with that kind of individual, and you've been arguing about it, maybe they get pleasure from that type of thing. And if that's the case, yeah, you do want to separate from them, right? But you need to look at the bigger picture. You need to have a plan on how to go about it if you want to do that. If you want to stay with them and make it work, you need to communicate those things to them and try to make it clear that you're not willing to deal with that kind of control. And if it's a boss at work, which it could be, you need to be like, hey, I don't want to be treated this way, or I don't want to, it doesn't please me, to work in this way or work for this amount of money or anything like that. Because, you got big money, it says, after heartbreak. So if it is with a boss and you have a falling out at work or with friends or a boss in some way that you feel upset about that and you feel like it's not justified, or you get fired, and you get fired, you believe wrongfully, and you take them to court, you're going to get money. Because it's saying after the heartbreak, you get the money. I mean, it's right there in the outcome. So, I mean, and if it's a divorce, get your half, get your part, get your support. Because you need to be able to do that. And you need to look at the bigger picture, because, especially if there's a kid involved and you need to take care of your kids, or a kid. It looks like maybe one kid, but it could be multiple, and or it's just dependence in some way, whatever that is. You need to get what you can, and that's part of the big picture. You need to have as much as you can, regardless of not wanting to go through the stress of maybe going to court and all that. Yeah, I agree with that, but you got to look at the big picture and think of what's practical and what's good in the overall scheme of things. So I think you want a new emotional beginning. Is this divorce here in the Justice card here? Is this something to do with court? Trying to see what kind of cards we're going to get with it. But I got to wait for it to tell me to stop. I'm not just going to... Sometimes it takes a while to get the right cards to come out. Not that I'm, trying to manipulate it. It's just the cards have to do it on their own. I don't do anything like that. And I shuffle between every single reading massively. Hell, you'll watch me shuffle a lot. A ton, actually. Eventually it'll click and then I'll know. Oh, right there. Yeah, okay, yeah. You gotta move forward. Gotta have great strength. The Lord of Dominion is creating what you want, The 9 of rods in this deck is the Lord of great strength. So you have strength, dominion, which would be creating your own, whatever the situation you want, and then victory again. So you're going to be victorious in this situation, but you're going to have to go through the grind, whether it's taking an employer to court or whatever the situation is, whether it's a lawsuit of some sort because of something that happened. And it could definitely be anything like that because you got the argument card there with that 5 of swords. But it looks like you're winning either way if you go through with it. So it's going to take a lot of strength. And then, the Lord of Dominion, it's what he is. He's creating, having everything you need to create your dominion, what you want in your way. And maybe someone's been trying to influence your life in that way, whether it's an employer or boss, whether it's a spouse, husband or wife, trying to be overbearing in some way or trying to dominate you, Lord of Dominion. And you're like, you know what? I want autonomy in my own life. And so maybe you have to divorce or maybe you have to sue them in some way. And you get what's coming to you. And it looks like you're going to win. Hands down. Straight up victory. 2 victory cards. The Chariot with the daggum 6 of rods. So you got double victory over there. So I'd say stay on that path. You got the Hermit there. So, you may, if you do separate from the job or from an individual, you may feel lonely for a little while. A lot of times, like if we're no longer working, it's like, well, you do feel kind of bored and alone. You always want to be doing something right there. So, you can feel like a hermit, but I think you still need to go through with it to get what you want. We want to see what the Heartbreak card is. It's like you're breaking something down. You're getting your abundance. It's what's going to lead to your abundance. We know that because the Ace of Pentacles is there. Princess of Wands with the 6 of Swords in this deck is called Science. And science is basically breaking things down. It's Mercury energy. You're breaking things down, deciphering them, learning about them in every way, picking them apart, putting them back together, figuring out how to do something or how things work. And it's going to lead to abundance because you got the Princess of Wands and abundance, the 3 of Cups. So whatever that heartbreak is, it's going to lead you to abundance. Or whatever the thing that upset you or that thing that worked against you in whatever way. It could be, like I said, some kind of medical lawsuit for something to do with your heart or anything like that. Somebody did something wrong in some way and it led to a heartbreak, whether it be physical heart or just, upsetting you or anything, or did something wrongful against you, all kinds of different ways. And you take them to court. And if you do, you're going to win. So, you have the high ground. You're right, whatever it is. But it's saying look at the bigger picture. So you need to, whatever this is, and if it is separating from someone, whether you want to make it work or you want to separate from them, you have to decide. You have to look at the bigger picture and see what's best. Try to work out all the scenarios. It looks like what's leaving them is best, but you need to actually go to if it is whatever the court situation is, or whatever the situation is that you need to do to sue whatever individual or whatever, or there's like maybe even defamation lawsuit or anything like that. You need to do it because it's going to benefit you financially, majorly. I was looking over here what the advice is saying. And you got the Aeon, which would be the final judgment. You have the Magus, which is the magician, which is having whatever you need. And then you have the 2 of Cups, which is love. So I think you may be trying to create new love in the end of all this. I think in the end, that's kind of where it's all going to be heading. Is to love. Or you're going to love your new life. You're going to love what you created after you make this final judgment, right? Your happy home. It's what you're trying to create. And you're going to get it. No doubt about it. But look at the bigger picture. It's all about the whole picture, the bigger picture, not just what's going on in the moment. You do need to understand all the details that's going on with the Science card here, with the 6 of Swords. But you need to understand the bigger picture and what the outcomes will be and what's likely to occur. And if you do that and you prepare, you're going to get the big money. The big money after whatever this was. Could be a big suit, could be a divorce, but you're going to get the big money. Just do your due diligence, investigate, look at the bigger picture. And whatever comes next, it looks like you're going to have once you win this case, whatever it is, and you get that big money, whatever it is, you're gonna be able to create the life of your dreams. All right, Libra, that's all I have. I do wish you the best. Please consider liking and subscribing. I got about 111 subscribers now, and I'm super grateful for that. It's nowhere near what I need to be monetized. So if you don't want to subscribe or comment or like, that's fine. You don't have to. I'm grateful that you just viewed the video. It means a lot to me. But please consider it so I can have a reason to make more videos and more content and start breaking stuff down. Anyway, Libra, I wish you the best. Happy August. Happy new moon. Bye.